Am I the meanest?
Sure enough.
Am I the prettiest?
Sure enough.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this town?
Sure enough.
Well, who am I?
Sure enough.
Who am I?
Sure enough.
I can't hear you.
That means that we punched our ticket to go try to win the Super Bowl, and that's it. We got one game at a time, starting at 1 o'clock on Sunday. Love y'all, boys. Love you. Love you. I'll go to war with every single one of you, every freaking game, all right? Love you, 1-7. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Win.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about, have your fucking clout. It be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
It's showtime.
Welcome to the Reese T. Bills Mafia Tailgate Pregame Show, presented by Mafia Sports Report and Post Podium Podcast. I'm your host, Tommy, and next to me is King Aramis. What up, Aramis?
Man, I'm great. Feeling really good today. I'm in the studio. This feels much more natural for me. So
yes. Hey, man, like I said last week, we tried to bring you that Bills Mafia experience, and yeah, I thought we did a great job, man. It's tough, guys. It's tough when you're out there, man. I guess you got to be out there and try to put on a camera at the same time with audio and see how it goes. It's a little tough. We do have some inactives. Spin always on top of things. So we'll go ahead and read those inactives. I already saw them, but there is one that, that sticks out. Teron Johnson. I did not see that coming, but okay. So Curtis Samuel out. Of course, we knew that, right? Like, come on. That's no surprise to anyone at this point that Curtis Samuel's not playing. Teron Johnson, that is a surprise. Jordan Hancock, Shaq Thompson, Chase Lunt, Ed Oliver. We knew that. Landon Jackson, call-ups, Keontae Jenkins, and Logue. So, yeah, they're giving the young guy an opportunity in Jenkins as well, and Logue. So, pretty cool to see. I did tell you last week, I had a feeling that Dorian Strong was going to wind up starting. You were kind of like, nah, I don't think it's probably going to be Ingram. I mean, and that would be what
Sean was saying, but damn, you got feelings like that. Played a lotto, bro.
I just, it was just weird because, it just seemed like a lot of focus was on Strong leading up to that game, a lot of interviews. And I'm like, now, of course, I obviously I was just reading into it, but it was just odd because there was nothing about Ingram. The reporters weren't really talking to Ingram much. And I'm like, it's kind of leaning towards possibly Strong. But you're right, though. Like, that would be a McDermott thing to do. You know what I mean? To start Ingram. By the way, Trey White is active in this game. So that will be interesting to see who's CB2 today. Will Strong be out? Will Trey take his place as CB2? We'll see. I mean, once again, we don't know, right? Who's taking Teron's spot? Who do you think's taking time?
It's going to be
Cam, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I figure. So, Cam, I don't mind Cam. I think Cam's been on this team a while. He could play multiple positions, safety, corner. So, I don't mind Cam, filling in here and there. Matter of fact, Cam actually had that spot. He took that away from Teron years ago, and then Teron got it back. Years ago when Teron was playing bad. I think it was his second year. And then Cam got hurt, and then Teron got the job back and never lost it. So, and then he got the extension the following year or the year after, something like that. So, Cam actually did have that spot for a second. So, it was interesting. But anyways, man, you didn't have a show Friday, man. We missed you guys. We missed Keys, right? We missed King Aramis. and everyone's like, "What is going on?" But hey, man, work calls. You got to pay the bills. Yeah. But are you guys back to your regular scheduled program this week? And can Bills Mafia expect post podium to bring it next week, Monday and Friday at 5:30?
1,000%, man. 1,000%. I mean, the name of the game is being available for the folk. We're actually, and this is the first time I'm mentioning this to anybody, but we're going to be coming out with some new content. I'm going to be doing some.
You're hearing it here first. Whoa!
Yes, I'm going to be doing some press conference review where I'm just kind of, taking everybody through player press conferences, coaching press conferences, and just kind of giving my overview of what the interpretations of some of the things that they say are based on, my knowledge of, internal workings of the team and things that I know about guys and stuff like that. So I think it'll be something, kind of cool to sit there and just pontificate, on and talk with people on. So we got that coming up. And then we're also going to be diving into watch parties. We're going to do some live. We're going to watch the game live.
Oh, wow. You're going to try that. Okay.
Yeah, give it a shot.
I could do it for preseason.
Okay.
Because I can kind of, for me, everyone's different, but it's tough because I'm so dialed into the game. I can't do both because once you're live, you're kind of concentrating on the chat and then you're missing plays. Like I've noticed that, but preseason, I didn't mind so much because you can miss some preseason parts of the game. It's not, you could talk a little bit more, but yeah, go for it, man. I mean, people do like it. They like it a lot. I get requested all the time, but I just can't, man. I'm so focused on the game, bro. But you'll see
what it is though, is me for some reason, me and Key, whenever we're like together, like in the studio like this, like after a show, like it's like during the show, we'll be, very intellectual with how we talk and stuff like that. But after that, we are just all clown.
I got you. Yeah,
100%. And
dude, I think you guys are
drinks available, man. Yeah. Come on, man,
dude. I think you guys will kill it. When are you guys starting that? When you guys plan on starting that?
It's going to be for the Saints game.
That's when you're going to officially start it, and then it's going to.
We'll do a pilot that day.
Test the waters.
See how it works. Yeah.
Test the water. See how it
flows. Get a pretty good turnout, then it'll be worth doing. We'll keep doing it.
Okay, I think you will. Roy coming in though, saying, "Look, no PP last Friday. It meant we didn't have to listen to 2 hours of negativity. Got a little break. Now we're back next week to it." Roy, that's Roy's a diehard post podium podcast listener and on here too. Roy, man, you're the best, man. But yeah, man, listen, sometimes you got to get a little break. I get it, and that's what the fellas did for you guys. Give me a little break. That was purposely done. We got to give the fans just kind of let them enjoy the win.
Yeah, I mean, I told you too. I'm really about to poop on people's cornflakes, man. It's pretty bad. But it is.
Ariella coming. Oh my God, Aramis. I wondered about something. I haven't heard you weigh in real fast. McDermott hot seat. This guy, right? He likes to poke the bear. He really does. He does. TJ Sanders, Deion Walker breakout today. We'll get to that once we start talking about the game. Right now, we're just talking about a lot of other stuff, but we'll get into it. And by the way, Roy, I saw you said about a quad on Tehran. I didn't even hear. I'll be honest with you, I did not even hear about that. So shame on me, I guess. But either way. But look, Roy's saying, nah, I'm just clowning. I'm busting your chops. He loves PPP. We know that, Roy. We see you guys in there. We know Spin loves post podium, even though he disagrees with 99.9% of the things that post podium says. He is there on time, start to finish. We love you, Spin, but boy, you are a trip, man. That's all I can say about Spin. He will correct you real quick if you're wrong. Laugh a lot, Tommy. Been asleep at the wheel all week. Yeah. That's how I am. I sleep at the wheel, cause a couple crashes, but I'm okay. I'm here. All right. It's pregame, man. It's pregame show. And boy, I didn't really even get to talk much to Aramis about last week's game. But man, dude, what a game that was last week. It wasn't pretty, obviously. The defense was tough to watch most of the time in that game. But I'll say this, man. We went live post-game, and it was probably the first time we ever did a post-game show where we just kept it all positive, because that's a game where you're just going to have to. And then we were like, you know what? Monday we'll save the rest of we'll because that moment you have to, right? Like those moments don't come often, right? So we went all positive Sunday post game for that game, and then Monday, of course, we kept it real, which you got to keep things real, or you're just a rah channel, and that's not what we are. That's not what Post Podium is, but. There was a lot of stuff from that game that I hope they correct, they fix, and but there was a lot of good too, that I felt that was in that game that that the players could take from and learn from. But the bad, I hope they fix it quickly, because this is going to be another season where the offense is going to have to definitely carry that defense. What was your thoughts on the game last week?
Well, I mean, the main thing that I just took away from that, and I kind of hoped that I could find the most accurate and articulate way to say it, but what we saw on Sunday night is not scalable throughout the rest of the season. And what I mean by that is we can't continue to expect Josh Allen to just have it like that every single week. You know what I'm saying? One of the advantages, and I think one of the reasons why Lamar didn't win the MVP is because of what we saw Sunday night, which is he doesn't have to do very much. He threw the ball 19 times, and he just handed it off to Derrick Henry, and Henry basically took the game over until the fourth quarter. So, I'm thankful that we have a guy like Josh that can do that. But man, wouldn't it be such a wonderful thing for Josh to have all these weapons like Lamar? And I'm not saying that the guys we have can't develop into that, but it just seems like it's year after year. It's one step forward, two steps back with some of our skill players. Sure.
So here's how I think about it. So we're on the offense real quick. Then I guess we'll talk defense. But I get where you're going only because of this. I think our offense, honestly, I think the players in the room are fine because of the quarterback situation, right? Like it's kind of like Tom Brady could work with anyone, right? It didn't matter who was there. He can make it work because he was that special. That's the same as Josh Allen, right? The special quarterbacks can make anyone look better than what they really are, right? They can make the game go smooth. But on the flip side, Tom Brady had a defense, right? So like even if they had like an off game, New England's defense was there to kind of pick them up or carry him a little bit. You know what I mean? If they had an off day, that's not the case here. It hasn't been the case in a while. So this offense has to be perfect. So in a way, you're right, because it's almost like we have to have this electric offense to carry the defense every fucking game. So you might as well, because at this point, I'm almost like, fuck the defense. Fuck it. Like I'm bitching about all season what we need on the defense. It just doesn't work. It's not working. So you know what? Let's just go the opposite route, and let's just load up on offense. Let's just be this unbelievable offense. Grab the best players you can on offense, and we'll just try to outscore everybody. I mean, you know what I mean? So because the defense every time I think, man, we got Ryan Nielsen, man. He's going to watch Ryan Nielsen. We're gonna try to, no, we give a 40 point. Right? So now, once again, it is week one. I'm not trying to like shit on the defense already. It was that Baltimore team is very, very good. They are stacked, both sides of the ball. Yeah. I get it, but we could have played better, right? Time will tell.
The best top to bottom roster in the AFC.
Absolutely. So, my takeaways was the offense started good. I like what I saw on the first drive. Then we kind of went away from it. Brady even last season would do this. He would have a nice drive and then go away from things that were working and start playing this very vanilla based offense, a lot of bubble screens, all just things that just don't work for the offense, that never really have. And then we're back to, then we have another drive And the third quarter, then we'll have a good drive in the third. It's just weird. The thing with this offense, I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like we're best in a hurry up style offense. I really do, because what it does, I feel like Josh is more in control of the offense when we're in that kind of hurry up. Because sometimes he's calling his own plays on those types of hurry up. And I also feel like it keeps defenses kind of like backpedaling, and they're unable to substitute, right? Because we're going it so fast. And I don't know. I just feel like it fits us more. I'm not saying we have to go up tempo the whole game, but I feel like we are really deadly when we go up tempo. We tend to score pretty fast, pretty quickly. And it happened in that game. If you watch that game at the end there, when we're trailing, we're going up tempo and we're having no problem. And that's when you see the receivers get to open a little bit more. Yeah. I could be wrong, but it just seems like this offense is built for more up tempo, game plan. And I hope Brady kind of gets. I'm not saying you have to do it all the time, but I just see this offense clicking a little bit more. What's your thoughts on the up tempo?
Up tempo is always going to be a deal breaker for a defensive minded head coach. So I think from the politically correct perspective, I don't think we're ever going to see that under Sean McDermott, just because of how much stress it puts on a defense to go out and perform after, only being off the field for, anywhere from 40 to 90 seconds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're going high octane, moving the ball like that on offense all the time, is going to wear your defense out. But I will say this. One of the things that you mentioned with Brady is, he'll have that initial drive where they look great. And that's exactly what they did against the Ravens. But here's the thing. When you're looking at the offense at the beginning of the game, you have to think these are scripted plays. Every team goes in with about 12 to 15 scripted plays, right? Yeah. And so everything that they do on that first drive, they've done in practice several times, like in succession,
leading up to the game.
This play, then that play, then that. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's already kind of in the player's mind and in their muscle memory to execute what they're going out there to execute. And with the Bills, they do that especially against good teams because they want to be able to play with the lead. Every defensive-minded head coach lives from the perspective of we just get a lead and we hold the lead, right? And we usually see the offensive guys, like namely Zach Taylor in Cincinnati, we're going to get a lead and we're going to build on that lead. And we're just going to be so far ahead that our defense, it's going to be easy to play against you because you're one-dimensional, right? And I think that's kind of what we hope for with the Bills, is that just be aggressive to the point where your defense that has shown that it can't consistently be relied on until those key moments, because that's the thing. Like they perform well at the end of games in very key and critical moments most of the time. But when we want to see that dominant performance from the defense against a team like the Jets, in which case their offense is mostly smoke and mirrors and a pretty good run game, we struggle to see that, and then it becomes frustrating. You know what I'm saying? So I think it really comes down to this: the head coach wants to play complementary football, and I said this, when we were on the show last week, and I kind of turned your screen sideways when I said that. But the idea of complementary football is not, the defense playing in a way that complements the offense. It's specifically the offense needs to play in a way that complements the defense. That's what Sean means when he says complementary football. He wants the offense to run clock, rest the defense, keep them fresh, keep them in position so that in the moments of the late moments of the game where the defense needs to be on edge, needs to be at peak performance level, they have the juice, they have the energy, they have everything they need to be able to perform well at the end of a game. And I think unfortunately there's false hope in what we saw at the end of the Ravens game from the standpoint of the defense stepped up and stopped them. Well, you also have to take into context their head coach has been notorious for being very timid in those moments and not going for it or not allowing his team to really attack on offense and take the win as opposed to trying to hold the win.
Yeah. So, I'm with you. Look, until McDermott steps out of his comfort zone, because really that's what it is. Like I always talk about comfort zone, and that's in life in general, right? Like doing things different that you really don't feel comfortable with, but you got to do, right? Yeah. And I feel like Sean McDermott's still stuck in his ways as far as that goes, wanting a certain, he has a certain plan that he's sticking with, right? Same with Bean, right? They have certain, like Bean for me, like his plan is, from the very beginning is the outlook, the future, the outlook they want, and they're always looking ahead, always ahead. It's like, well, you know what, man, you got to start looking at the now, right? Like we're in year 9, right? Like it's time to switch things up a little bit because we haven't even gone to a Super Bowl yet. So it's okay now. Now's the time, right? Now you need to go, okay, you know what? Maybe these things that we're doing aren't necessarily working out. All right, let's try something different. And I hope that he does. I'll say this about McDermott last week. I'll give him some due, a little bit of credit, which is rare of me. I thought his clock management, which is usually a very bad, was much better last week. I'll give him that. I thought his especially at the end of the game. Okay. Yeah. I thought him and his special teams coach, I forget his name, the new guy, I thought they communicated very well, which hasn't always been the case. Mm-hmm. And that whole sequence there was really done perfectly. Like, I appreciate that. Left them no time on the clock. You got the guys out there on the field, no issues. By the way, there could have been if it was a false start, we would have lost the game, right? Because I think there's a 10-second runoff and it would have been the game over. So I thought everybody executed very well, and you got to give McDermott credit for that. I also thought, and this is, it doesn't happen much with it. I thought he was kind of calm and cool in that game, especially at the end there. Normally McDermott's kind of tensing up when things aren't going right, and that's when he starts to call timeouts or challenges plays that shouldn't be challenged, and he lose timeouts. Like, so I felt, I'll give him his dues. I thought he handled that game very well, unlike Harbaugh, who I feel is a better coach. But Harbaugh, like you said, he's done that in the past. And, I was shocked, Aramis, that he didn't go for it on 4th and 3. If that's Andy Reid, 4th and 3, he's going for it. If that is the Lions head coach, he's going for it. Listen, and shame on Lamar. Like I heard Lamar afterwards, cramp. Like, get the fuck out of here. You're calling yourself an MVP, right? Yeah. They're over there chanting your name. Well, bro, listen, I've seen Allen take crazy hits, crazy shots, and dude, it would take the whole team to push Allen off that field on that moment, right? If he was given that opportunity. So no, I don't give a shit about a cramp. Fuck out of here with that. You got Derrick Henry. All you had to do is hand it off. Like, and so what? Let's say the Bills do
before that play. That's what it was. That's
but I don't care. Who gives a shit? You got Derrick. You telling me you can't hike a ball and hand it off? That's how hurt you were. I'm sorry. I don't buy that.
Even if he only got one arm, just stick this.
Yeah, dude. Really? Come on. You know what I mean, bro? They could have put. To be honest with you, they could have put Derrick Henry in a Wildcat. Like if really that was, he was so hurt back that he couldn't hike, snap the ball. You know what I mean? Hand it off. Yeah. But I'm just saying, even if Henry doesn't pick it up there, okay, you're trusting your defense anyways on a punt situation. I just thought that was that's a McDermott type of move, right? They gave us the game when they did that, and I'm like, okay, that's game. They just fucked up. And
here's a point for credit too. Since we're giving credit, I mean, you can. It's a plausible argument to attribute Harbaugh's decision at that point, 4th and 3, to the performance of Ed Oliver. Because if you got a guy that's been penetrating all game long, especially after the play that he made, the last thing you want to do is give him another opportunity on 4th and 3, which is longer than you would think. You know what I mean? In terms of running the ball, right? But giving Ed Oliver any opportunity to penetrate at that point and blow the play up, that would.
But what does it matter? But what does it matter? You got 2 minutes left, right? You're trusting in your defense anyways on the punt, right? Yeah. So what? If you're trusting in your defense, my thing is this: like if I'm the coach and I'm thinking, okay, if Henry doesn't get it, Ed Oliver did. He played his ass off that game, no doubt. But still, 3 yards for Derrick Henry. I'll take my chance. Okay, I would. And let's say he doesn't. You're still trusting your defense, right? That's your mindset. You're punting it anyways. So what? You trust your defense. They don't get the first down. You hold them to a field goal. You still got time to go down and win the game. If you're the Ravens, right? If you're thinking that way. Also, I got to say too, when you go back to that game, I was thinking about it, man, because so many little tiny things led to that comeback that people are like, they miss, right? Like the field goal at the end of the first half, right? Like, that was huge, right? 3 points it was like it was like a millisecond probably on the clock, right? Yeah. And we wound up getting 3. The punt that went down to the 1 that should have been the 1, but it barely touched a great line. We scored on that drive. The kick out of bounds that was not out of bounds, but not in the field of play, the zone got us to the 40. We score. The Keon Coleman, where he didn't get into the end zone. Now that we burn the clock, we win the game. They have no time. But my question is let's say we get the 2-point conversion. I think it was a good thing we didn't, because we get it. The Ravens aren't playing. They're having the ball with 2 minutes to go win the game.
Trying to play keep away instead of trying to score.
Exactly. So in a way, I know it sounds weird, but it actually worked out in our favor, because then all they were trying to do is just kill the clock. They had no reason to be aggressive on offense, right? And I feel like if they were, could have been a different story, because they had plenty of time at that point. Well, basically 2 minutes, all three timeouts. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. No,
sorry, go ahead.
The funny part about that is you can't say with any confidence that Sean McDermott wouldn't have tried to do the same exact thing with a 2-point lead at 4th and 3 in the fourth quarter. And that's the crazy part about it. You know what I'm saying? But here was my thought when I heard you bring that point up about going for it or not going for it. I think especially defensive minded head coaches, they tend to think about the perception as opposed to the solution to the problem, right? And here's what I mean by that. When you think about all of Sean's decisions, how does he justify his decisions? Every single time he comes to a press conference, he talks about, well, the numbers say, right? He very rarely says, well, I just had a gut feeling and I decided to go, or I've been watching this guy all game and I felt like he had it, so I told. Like that even with the Tyler Bass kick in the Miami game last year, it was, well, I believe in him. I mean, you had to say that. You didn't really have a choice at that point. He had to kick that ball. You didn't have a choice. So there's the justifications that guys create like that, because they're trying to think about what their boss or what any other executive in the NFL is going to assess of their performance, right? So when Sean gets up there and he's talking about, well, we thought it was a good idea to try and hold on to the ball and run the clock out, and it just didn't work out in our favor. When he goes and he sits in that meeting with Terry Pegula, every other executive that Terry Pegula goes and talks to about it afterwards is going to say, well, I mean, based on the numbers, your head coach made the right decision. Well, you can't do anything about it. It's the NFL. Yeah. All these other cliche excuses, right?
Correct.
But I think as fans, and this is the even weirder part about it. As fans, you got people that are Madden champions because they never punt. You know what I'm saying? And I get that it's a video game, but when you see the Chiefs go and do it in real life, or you see the Eagles go and do it in real life with the QB sneak that they do, the tush push.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's little techniques and little schemes and little things like that you can put into your game plan that give you that advantage, but you got to be a creative mind to do that. Sirianni had
creative mind push and stepping out of your comfort zone. Exactly. Once again, I call it, and I'm with you. It's not always about what the data says instead. Like, dude, just come on, man. Like, I'm totally with you. And by the way, I'm going to get to some of your, I'm sorry, I'm not getting to some of your comments. I will. Mikey usually does this for me, but what if Roy coming in, but what if Prater missed the field goal? Would you still say it was good? Yes, of course I would, because we would win the game at that point. Prater missed. So I still stick by that. Yeah, absolutely. It worked out in our favor. Like, and if Prater missed, like, once again, we were given the opportunity to win the game at that point. So yeah, like, and who's to say? Once again, my whole point was we make the 2-point conversion, we tie the game. the Ravens have 2 minutes and to be aggressive on offense, and all they need is a field goal to win. And that's a game. So I'm just telling you, I felt like, it worked out in our favor. I kind of didn't mind that when it happened. But no, man, listen, at the end of the day, and we're going to get to this Jets game. Cool. I thought the Bills, what won them the game was heart and fight, really, at the end. Okay. That you can't teach. You either got it or you don't. Right. And I felt like Baltimore came into that game with a totally different mindset than Buffalo. They came in there with, Lamar should have been MVP. They're chanting MVP, right? What's his name? Flowers is over there. Hey, if I was here last in the playoffs, we would have won. And I felt like we just came in and going, hey, it's week one. It's a new season. We didn't, and I felt like they were thinking about it all wrong, right? They were thinking this is a revenge game, and this is the real MVP over here, and I felt like when things went bad for them, which is in the last 5 minutes of that game, they fell apart, and they've done that, shown that, right? Their coach was stonewalled. He had no answer. Lamar was, didn't even want to be out there, right? Got hit and didn't even want to, right? He was just like, fuck, take me out. Derrick Henry was just like, what is going on? And I just felt like the Bills, they just never truly gave up. And you know why? Because they know who's at quarterback. And if there's time still on the clock, guys, with this team, anything can happen. With Josh, that is, right? Now, if we had Baker, maybe any other quarterback, then you know what? Probably game, set, match, right? But with Josh, that's what makes him special. And I was thinking, somebody actually not thinking about this, but the other day, I forgot what stream I was on. Maybe it was my Shakedown show or something. But somebody said, "Would you trade Josh Allen for like 4 first-round picks, something like that?" And I said no. And I tell you why, because which it would never, by the way, no team would ever do that. But or maybe I don't know, but. There's 32 teams, right, in the NFL, 32 quarterbacks. Honestly, there's only, I would say, 3 right now that are tier 1 elite level, which is, I would say, Mahomes, Allen, and Lamar, right? I'm talking about where it would be nearly almost not impossible, but very tough to find somebody to fill their spot, right? Years, right? You got to get lucky. And then there's a lot of great quarterbacks and really good quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But, dude, to find another Allen, right, to replace him, even if you get 5 first-round picks, the chances are slim. You might find a really good quarterback. You might find a great quarterback.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you'll find that quarterback. So I would say no to that, because you see what happens. You see the proof is in last week's game, right? Guy had 250 in the fourth quarter alone. He took over, right? And I got to say, Keon Coleman, right, stepped up in a big way, was calm and cool. I thought the rest of the team, I thought Palmer, who was kind of silent that game, stepped up, right? Everybody did their job at the end there. I want to see them obviously click a little bit more all 4 quarters with that offense. But it was good to see some guys actually, these guys step up, especially the new guy in Palmer, and especially for Coleman, who's gotten a lot of heat. Right, a lot of Bills Mafia still, we should have got Worthy or bad pick. Like I hope, like Spencer Brown did, turns that narrative around, and Bills Mafia starts going, okay, maybe this guy, maybe there is something here. Maybe he is a really good player. He just needs to work on his craft a little bit, right? Yeah. And I kept telling people it's good that Keon Coleman is you'll see the real why they drafted him by year 2, year 3. That's when he will start taking that next step. I knew year 1 was going to be a little slow out the gate. And that's what happens sometimes. We put a lot of pressure on these players early on. We expect them to, just be a top 10 pick, right? And he wasn't in the top 10 pick. He was a second round pick with that needed some work. And it was up to him to do that in the offseason, and I believe he did, right? And it showed it first game. So there's some good outlook, on some of these picks. I would say the Cole Bishop right now, I'm still not I'm not convinced he's the guy. But I got to say, maybe Hancock can be in the future. We'll see if they give him an opportunity, if it's this year or in the offseason. But they could get lucky, and that Bishop pick can, we might forget all about it, right? Kind of like the Elam pick.
Yeah, I'll put it like this. If I had the dead cap money myself, I would pay Taylor Rapp to just leave Buffalo and never return.
Oh, and Rapp, yeah. And I like Rapp, but he's not. He's a rotational guy. He's a depth guy. You know what I mean? I have no problem with him as a, filling in. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the thing is, we're expecting in this defense McDermott scheme, he relies heavily on our safeties, right? He does. And it worked great when we had Poyer and Hyde, who were they gelled, they communicated. The communication's huge, right? They knew where to be. They didn't have to have this, they would never miscommunicated. It was always like they knew where to be. They made plays, and it worked well, right? They were there to step up, but you had to, they knew that their time was coming up. They should have had their replacements. And once again, that's shame on them. They waited too long. They kept riding that train, and you saw what happened. I mean, Hyde eventually, was nearly paralyzed at the end of his career here with and Poyer just started breaking down physically. So you should have had that, and then they put all their eggs in the basket for Cole Bishop this offseason. I felt like just waiting around, and we'll see. Like I said, once again, I could be wrong, and I know I talked about Coleman. You got to give some of these players time. It's week 1 of the year 2, but I don't see it. But maybe Cole Bishop changes my mind. I don't know. But right now,
I think the best thing for Cole Bishop right now would be to be playing next to Jordan Poyer. I think if you could swap out, and I know Poyer's old, but in the role that Rapp plays, I still think that Jordan Poyer could come in and fill that role nicely. And the benefit of having a guy like Bishop play next to a guy like Poyer in that defense is the consistent and constant communication on the field. I don't care what Taylor Rapp thinks he knows. He's never played at the level of a Jordan Poyer. When you have a player like that you can play next to, that can point out certain key things you have to be at a certain level to understand how to play against and play and play as, you know what I'm saying? That's a game changer for Bishop. And right now, unfortunately, Bishop's leadership at the position is coming from a guy on the practice squad. And as a rookie who didn't grow up watching Jordan Poyer play, it's kind of hard to, as a second year safety that's expected to come in and be a starter, hear the coaches tell you, all right, we're counting on you. You got to go out and do it. You got to go out and do it. Then they bring a guy back in who used to be a star there that's on the practice squad that's trying to tell you, hey, man, look, this is how you got to do it. Like, that's a difficult position to be in, because as a second round pick, you want to be humble, but at the same time, like, bro, you ain't doing it like this no more. You know what I'm saying? Unless you see it on the field, then it's like, all right, maybe I do need to open my ear up a little bit more.
Maybe. See, that I'm on the fence. I kind of agree with you and kind of don't. So I talked to Mikey about this, my co-host, because it is a great talking point. Like, and I because I know you and Keys talked about this a few weeks back. Mm-hmm. For me, because obviously, I played, not pro level, but I played high school basketball, and obviously, when you're you talk to varsity, the varsity team, varsity players that are older than you. I got that help, but so here's the deal. I felt like I think every player is different. Every player responds differently to coaches, to vet players. Some may just feel like, hey, the coach, they get all their knowledge from the coach. And they don't really, need a player or vet player kind of giving them that knowledge. But some do. And I'll say this, for me personally, was when I broke my ankle, it was good to talk to somebody that's been there, done that. Coach can't really relate like that. You know what I mean? And then also too, just certain things that I felt I was doing wrong that, maybe the coaches could say, but I took a little bit more knowledge, like from the guy that I felt, was in my position, right? He was a guard at the time. And I don't know, I took that a little bit more than what the coach could tell me. And my coach was great. I had no problem with my coach, but I think every player is different, right? So even if, let's say you got a 53-man roster, and even if there's, let's say 10 guys that could benefit off that, then that's fine. There's nothing, I don't see anything wrong with it. I get your point. But let's say Hancock, for instance. So let's say he is the kind of player that is feeding off Poyer and really, getting that time, but maybe Bishop isn't. Maybe Bishop prefers his position coach and really doesn't have that chemistry with Poyer too. You know what I mean? They're not having that one-on-ones, you know what I mean? So I think everyone takes it differently is all I'm saying. I don't think all the players necessarily, need, hey, we're only going to be the coach. The coach is going to give us this breakdown. And I don't really, I'm not taking any, you know what I'm saying? Because I do believe now, like injuries, like for instance, Trey White, I'll give you a great example. Okay. Our rookie, right? God, I can't believe it. Harrison suffered a pretty good injury, right? Mm-hmm. You're telling me that him and Trey, who already kind of built that kind of relationship in camp, you kind of saw that during Hard Knocks. They seemed like they had a little bit of chemistry as far as that going. Yep. You're telling me he didn't lean to Trey and go, hey, man, and Trey didn't go back to him. Hey, man, I've been there, man. You know what I mean? I have 2 seasons that. You need that. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, that's that stuff like that does help, Yeah,
no, I get it. And I guess that's kind of where I'm going, though, is that Trey White, in the context of your example, he is supposed to be the starter, right? So they would be on the field together. So there has to kind of be that synergy. There has to be that relationship and that communication. What I guess where I'm getting to with Poyer, and I know Sean Kula said that it would be redundant, but it's actually not, because the way that safeties played, or the way that safeties are expected to play nowadays, they're split safeties. They're basically safeties have to be able to be good in run and pass both sides. There is no more free safety, strong safety. We can't think of safeties from that perspective of they play the same position. When you're looking at a guy like Jordan Poyer and what he's been on the field here and the level that he's played at, you could say it's about the same level as what we've seen Trey White play at, right? Both guys have been an All-Pro. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. When you're looking at the connection between those two examples, I guess that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a guy for Bishop to kind of lean on in the games, I get that. Yeah, as a starter, you can't have that with a practice squad guy.
But see, I didn't envision when we signed Trey to be a starter, though. I know some people did at CB2, but I never thought of it as, oh yeah, for sure. Like I thought. To be honest with you, I said it from the start. If Trey White's our CB2 going into week 1, a lot went wrong. Right? Right? I'm just giving you I'm just being honest, right? And it did. It did. Harrison got hurt. He wasn't even able to compete. We have no idea what Harrison could, because we just don't. We didn't get to see much. And maybe Harrison will be a good corner, but unfortunately, he's so far behind. He missed so much camp, so much valuable time. You're not going to see that this year. You're not. You're going to have to wait till next offseason where he gets those valuable time with the position coaches, which means a lot, and then gets his reps in preseason. Like all that matters. So I didn't
be happier about that situation.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But I never expected Trey to be. I expected Trey to come in, be a mentor, be a guy that if we need him, okay, he's available.
Agree.
And did he really? Oh.
Yeah, he said he rather start Strong. Me too.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Oh, Strong? Yeah, me too. By the way, I don't know if Trey's starting today. I think, obviously we won't know until game time, but I prefer Strong as well. Like, for me, you give the kid another chance. Now, if Strong has let's say he has a rough week here against the Jets, then okay. Then you can decide what you want to do next, Monday. Come practice for the Dolphins, and then you decide, if you want to put Trey in on Thursday night. But right now I'm rolling with the young guys, right? You keep what you got in. Don't mix things up. But knowing Sean, God, he probably puts Trey in. We'll see. I mean, maybe put Trey in like here and there just to kind of get him. I don't know. We'll see. I have no idea what he's going to do with Trey. That's a real interesting thing.
Yeah, this is a game I don't think is really going to matter that much anyway.
It won't, but maybe, and maybe they'll throw him in there just to kind of get him going again. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not super concerned with that right now. I like what I saw from Strong last week. I thought he had some, he had some learning. He has some learning curves that he went through that he's going to have to, I'm sure he watched on film, and he's going to have to adjust a little bit better. But outside of that, I thought he played pretty well. Thought his tackling was good. So we'll see what happens. I thought our linebacker play last week was terrible. and which is surprising. Milano and Bernard were just not good. So I think that was just a week one thing because I've seen way better from both. So I'm not concerned. I think they just had an off game, to be honest with you. I thought Joey Bosa, I'll be honest with you. I thought Bosa had a bad first half, and I thought he had a really good second half. I thought he adjusted well.
Yep.
And that's a veteran. I will say that. That's a good thing about that because you know, a young guy may not get it right away, right? What Lamar was doing, and he adjusted. He talked about that after the game. So I appreciate that. Like, that's good, right? And he was effective in the second half. So great to see. Let's see what let's see if that continues on, and hopefully he can stay healthy, all that good stuff. Rousseau was okay last week. I didn't think he was bad, but I didn't think he was good. He was average, you know what I mean? He made some plays here and there. The star was Ed Oliver. Next to him, Daquan Jones was once again a no-show. At this point, man, I know he's our one tech, but honestly, man, it's beginning to be just like put somebody else next to Oliver. Honestly, really. I mean, at this point, what is he doing out there? He does nothing. He really does not much. I don't know what he's doing. I almost put Walker in there. I mean, honestly, put Sanders next to Oliver. You want that? Yeah. If you want that pressure, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't care about a true one tech, anyways, okay. Yeah. Sanders is electric. Throw him and Oliver out there and let them go at it. You know what I mean? Like, because Daquan, what is he really doing? I don't see it. I'm sorry, and I don't know. And McDermott, this is what he does. He did it with Trent Murphy. Like, he holds on to these fucking guys that we all know, we all see. They're a shell of themselves. They're not what they were, but they're locker room good guys. They're McDermott players. Like, stop it, McDermott, please.
Yeah,
you talk about practice what you preach. You talk about playing the best, right? Whoever's earning it. Is Daquan really earning it? I mean, is he? Go ahead.
It depends on what you want to see. It depends on what you want to see. And I think from a schematic standpoint, in the run game, so you got to think about it like this. Schematically, what Sean wants to see happen in the run game when Jones is on the field is different from what he wants to see from the run game when Sanders is on the field, right? And I don't even think that they put Sanders on the field with the mindset that Sanders is going to go in and do what Daquan Jones does, right? They're two totally different players. Now, I would prefer, I'm going to stand on this, I would prefer to have Sanders and Oliver on the field at the same time as much as possible this season, because one thing that we have seen from Walker is that he can flash, but he's still not at a point where it's ingrained in his muscle memory to play with lower leverage consistently, right? So what does that mean? Well, that means a 6'7" guy dealing with 6'3" guards is going to get beat most of the time in the run game, right? I'd rather have the penetration that a Sanders and an Oliver can offer with the leverage that they can offer, at a more consistent level in the run game, as opposed to a guy like Daquan Jones where he's got to play that one tech. He's got to let the run kind of come at him in a sense in order to be able to react to it. Yeah, I would always rather attack than to try and defend in terms of playing defense. Exactly.
And now, unless, like I said, if Walker was in his prime, when let's say Walker was in his best, in his prime, fine. Like, you obviously, I'm cool with that, but he's not. He's not in his prime. He's far, far past his prime. But yeah, I'm with you. That's exactly how you feel. Is how I feel when it comes to Sanders and Oliver being on the field. They won't do it. And I got another hot take. I mean, if Wilkins out there if he's not hurt, like he's ready to play, or let's say he only needs a few more games, weeks to get ready. Why would you not? And I know they would never do this because it's not what they do. But dude, on a 1-year contract, abso-fucking-lutely, I don't care what he's done or talked about. I don't care, because let's say worst case scenario, you get him in here and he's not a good fit in the locker. What? You're telling me this locker room would just go in shambles? Like, dude, this locker room is fine. It's led properly. They would put him in check real quick. Okay. It's not that, it's not the Dolphins where it's all, everybody's doesn't know what the fuck's going on. Their head coach is an idiot. Like, So what would really happen, or what could really good happen, is you get a Wilkins who's a really good fucking player, and he actually helps this team. They'll never do it. It's not going to. No, that's what I'm saying. It's a pipe dream. It's not going to happen. But I brung this up because look at Antonio Brown. Yeah, not fucking nutcase job. You fucking. But look who gave him a chance, right? New England. Okay, fine. Bill Belichick short leash dropped him. But Tom Brady goes, you know what? I'm on Tampa now. This guy can help us win. Worst case, he's a nut job, and he doesn't. Who gives a fuck? We fucking cut him and we move on.
Right.
What happens? They win a fucking Super Bowl. He helps them win a Super Bowl. The next year, fine. He freaks out. Who gives a fuck? He walked. Nobody cares.
Right.
Tampa got the Super Bowl. Right. What do they give a fuck about this guy being a nut job? Right.
Yep.
Nobody gave two shits. Right. Sean Gruden. Right. Was like, fuck. Gave him all the chance in the world. Why? Because he knew what he could do.
Right.
If he's on the field. Right. Like John Gruden had a super long leash with AB. Like they did. Like I don't mind that. I understood why the Raiders and the Brown. Like you had to at that point, but he did all he could. Right.
Did you see Sean's press conference Friday?
No, I didn't. I don't watch anymore. It's usually the same coach speak that he does. But what happened?
What up, Beth? So the the quintessential nail in the coffin came out of Sean's mouth during that press conference, right? And I might even do this one as my first video because I'm gonna be doing them on Tuesdays. The post podium press conference review.
Okay.
But he said in that press conference that the role of leadership is supposed to be, I'm going to paraphrase because I don't remember the exact verbiage that he used, but he's basically trying to make the point that leadership is supposed to adapt to the situations that it's in and the people that it's around, and it's supposed to find ways to make all of that work for the good of whatever the goal is, right? That was his main point in what he said. And when I saw that, I said, isn't it ironic that the guy who is preaching about leadership right now is not living the same kind of leadership that he's defining with his vocal cords and his words and his tongue right here in this moment? You mean to tell me that leadership is about adapting to people, but you don't want Antonio Brown around? You want your leadership is about adapting to situations, but you don't want a guy like Wilkins disrupting your locker room. You mean to tell me it's about making sure that you're focused on the goal at hand and doing whatever it takes to achieve the goal? Okay, you're a coach that's willing to try and achieve the goal, but only if it's done your way. You only want to win one way. You went into that Ravens game hoping that you could win your way to try and prove to the world that what you think is right is elite and above what everybody else thinks. And it didn't work. And it took your superhuman quarterback saving your ass live in front of the nation in order to kind of show that the Bills can still be a top tier contender. And then John gets to walk away from that saying, yeah, we just believed in each other. No, you put the damn cape on your quarterback. That's what you did. You finally let him loose, and this is what happens.
Salah coming in, Wilkins are whacked up. But that's our point.
Can he play, though?
Yeah, right. Dude, I don't we talk about this, and I know we got to get to the game soon. This talk about the Jets game, but I've talked about this before about just life in general, right? Just, and I bring up names all the time, like O.J. Simpson murdered his ex-wife. I don't give a fuck. Like, no offense, but
Ray Lewis was indicted for murder.
Right. I could give two shits what these guys. There's wrestlers. When I watch pro wrestling, I like they do steroids and beating their wives or whatever. I still like what they did in the ring. Right. Like Hulk Hogan got a bunch of shit. I don't care about his personal life. I don't follow his personal life. I could give a fuck about his real name. I don't care about any of that. I care about when I'm watching the product, right? And I know maybe,
I got
and I'm not.
Go ahead. And this is kind of, I don't think really very many people in Buffalo knew this, right? But who likes Isaiah McKenzie by a show of hands? Like this, I thought McKenzie was a good player, right?
McKenzie's a cool guy. Yeah, I have no problem with McKenzie.
Right? So I found out that he's got a problem with the white powder.
Oh, does he?
I mean,
Have a good
great
time,
guy.
huh?
Seems like a
Hanging
great
out with
interview,
dicks.
but he's sitting at home on the couch right now, wondering why he's not on the team. Maybe put the stuff down. And you know what I'm saying? But nobody knew about that kind of stuff. No,
Explains the speed.
Exactly. I'm kidding. But look, these are the kind of things that nobody knows about our players. But because there's this persona that everybody that's here is a choir boy, we never find out about the stuff until they leave. Right?
Yeah,
So
true.
That's kind of why I have this disdain for this culture, because it's built around this created facsimile of camaraderie and being a good guy and being a family guy. These guys cuss. These guys punch.
Exactly.
These guys do all the same stuff all these other players around the league do. It's just that the Bills are great at covering that stuff up and not letting us find out about it.
Yeah, and we're not.
All it comes down to.
And we're not condoning it. I'm not saying I want a guy. Me and Aramis aren't saying, "Hey, this guy does crack."
Punch women in the face. No, that's not what we're saying.
This guy goes out every weekend and smokes crack and punches girls. I think we should pick this guy up. Like, we're not saying that. We're just saying, look, every player, and Barkley said it best years ago, right? Don't look at me as a role model. I make mistakes. I'm fucking human, right? We're not fucking choir boys out here. We're, and if you want to be that guy, right? Like if you want to be a guy that you feel, is someone to look up to, then cool. But you better live up to that, right? A lot of players aren't like that. They're not saying that. They don't want to be looked up as role models. Like Eric Mullins, I remember a couple years ago, I was on X. I'm like, Eric Mullins should be on the Bills Wall of Fame. What the fuck's going on? Somebody wrote, he doesn't pay child support. I'm like, what? I don't care if he fucking, what does it have to do with anything? So he shouldn't.
Love Travis Henry with the friggin' 9 children he has. How many people love and respected that guy? Seriously,
right? And I love Travis. Hey, I have no problem with Travis. You know what I mean? Like, not once again, I don't care what James Cook does and I don't like. I don't care what any of these guys do. If they're good guys, that's great. Like, okay, but listen, I guess I'm going back to the Wilkins thing. Who cares? Is it bother, like, for real, Sal? I know you said that. Fuck that. I don't want that. Is he in your house touching you? Like, who? Right? Like, I mean, does it really affect you? Or let's say they signed him and he's out there causing havoc on the field. Are you going to go, fuck that guy, fucking loser, get out of my? Of course not. You're going to go, fuck yeah, Wilkins, making the fucking blood. Like that. Come on, let's be real. We're talking real here.
Yep.
When a good song comes on, it doesn't matter what you know about that guy. He could have been the worst person in the world, but you're going to go, damn, you know what? That's a good song. Yep. I'm just saying. So don't get caught up in these people's personal life. What we're watching and what we want, right, is wins.
That's it.
Right? What we want is a Super Bowl, right? We don't give a fuck who's on the team doing what. Now, look, if it's the distraction, that's fine. If Wilkins, let's say they signed Wilkins, he came here and all of a sudden fucking he's causing fights in the locker room. Mm-hmm. Okay, you get rid of him, you cut him, you move on. But let's say he comes here, he doesn't do that, and he's doing great plays on the field, making plays, getting us wins, helping us. What are you going to say then? Oh, he's a terrible person, but he did this over in the No, you're not. Stop.
Case in point of the overreaction of this city. Let's put this nail in the coffin here, right? The punt guy. The punt god comes here, gets drafted. We are so excited to have the punt god here, right?
Right.
What happens? Oh, there's allegations against him from third parties that he might have been an outside party to an event that his friends were involved in. He wasn't necessarily accused of being directly involved, but he was an ancillary piece of a crime being committed. What the case is, they ran his ass out of Buffalo.
Oh, dude.
Screw that guy. No, he's abusing. No, we don't need him here. It's the same thing they do with Marshawn Lynch. Say, oh, he hit that girl. It's the same exact thing. Ran him out of town. Now he's got a ring, doesn't he?
Right.
He's on a Super Bowl winning team, isn't he?
Well, I don't think he won it last year, so he went, but he didn't win it with them.
He was with them. He's been with them for 2 years, hasn't he? Or is it just
no, just last year.
Oh, okay.
last year.
I thought he was with him
Yeah,
2 years ago.
just
when they
like,
won it.
but he went. But don't mean he won't get one. And they kept him, by the way. And I'll say this about him. I'll say this about him and that whole situation. I was probably one of few podcasters, me and Mikey too, pretty much kind of have his back. The only part of the whole situation I understood when it came to Matt Araiza was I was looking at more at man, this is serious for him. Because then I'm thinking, damn, it's not even about the team at this point. I'm thinking this is serious allegations or looking back into it. He needs to, because that's some serious prison time. He needs to concentrate on clearing his name and not football. Like, to me, that's what I'm thinking, and I was okay with what the Bills did at the time because I felt it was better for Matt to go ahead and get that shit out of the way. And when he did, right. And it took a little time, but where the Bills fucked up, in my opinion, was they handled it wrong, meaning they should have put him on some kind of leave where they gave him an opportunity. Once you clear your name, come back, we're good to go. And then they still had the opportunity when Martin got hurt. He was out there, and they still chose to go with Matt Hawk over him in the playoffs, and then went back to Sam Martin. It was just a clear, I thought, a real shitty way because yet they didn't do that to Vaughn. Yeah. Right. They kept Vaughn around when that. So I just felt it was wrong. And then speaking on that, and we still haven't talked about this game real quick.
Run out of time here.
yeah, I know. Real quick on that whole story. First of all, okay, and some podcasts are like, oh, I still don't like he had sex with a 17. Let me tell you something, guys. Have you ever been to a fucking college? You ever been to college? Anyone of you guys have gone to college, went to a college party? Usually college kids are 19, 20, 21. I believe he was 20 or 19 at the time. Are you telling me you're asking IDs at a fucking party? If that girl was 17, she claims she was 19. Are you a 19-year-old drinking? You're at a college party in 19 and 17, guys. I'm sorry. Stop it. Okay. And once again, I've never, not once, ever been to a college party unless they'd have to look extremely young. And then I'd be like, oh, I don't know. But dude, come on, stop. She's drinking, all that. Like, people are like, oh, sicko. I'm like, what are you talking? What are we doing here?
Showed him her ID and he was like, all right, cool,
right. Yeah, we're good. We're good to go.
Cool.
Yeah. And he laughed. I mean, bro, it's just so much to it, man. And I did a video and I'm like, bro, for as strong as the allegations were, it should be as strong as the apologies should be towards him, because that's fucked up. That really, I felt bad for him. He lost a couple years of football, money. His name was thrown out there as a fucking, a rapist. Like, terrible things should never happen. But anyways, let's go to the game. Jets, Bills. Boy, we went down so many different rabbit holes today. Let's get to this game. We'll go through it quick because we got maybe 15 minutes. So let's get to some X factors real quick, and we'll make this real quick here. How can I pull this up? Here we go. Okay. Nice. Yep, gotcha. 3 potential X factors, and I won't read them all as far as what they're writing, but offense. Josh Palmer. So do you think he's an X factor? And then you can name your one for now on the list.
In this game, yeah, 100%. Yes. Okay, so we're going yes. I'm going yes as well. I actually have him as an X factor on my Friday show. I picked him. Josh Allen. Yes. I'm going to go yes. What about you? In this game, honestly, no, I don't think he's going to have to do very much. I think the receivers are going to get open. I think it's going to be one of those dink and dunk kind of games, frustrate the defense. They're not going to need a lot of big plays. We're going to be able to eat a lot of clock. Even with the passing game, I think the passing game is going to be absolutely necessary to win this game.
Okay, so keeping him off that list. All right, for him, I'll keep him on the list. I think he's always an X factor. Connor McGovern. I don't know why they have him here, but okay, Connor McGovern. What do you think?
Center. Yeah, I will say Connor McGovern. I think the offensive line is going to have a really great day. That defensive line for the Jets is no joke. They are not recognized as a top tier defensive line yet, but I think as the season goes on with Jermaine Johnson and McDonald and Quinnen Williams in the middle there, they will be recognized as one of the better D lines in the league.
All right, who do you have on offense that wasn't there that you want to add? And we're going to get to defense. Yep.
To be perfectly honest, I think Dawson Knox is gonna be an X factor in this game. I understand that we barely use that guy, but what I mean is his blocking and then how he's used in the pass game is going to be a big deal because the linebackers for the Jets, first and foremost, Jets play man coverage all the time, right? So when we're looking at how you can kind of take advantage of some of the things that keep the linebackers off guard and keep them from being able to attack, you need to be running some of those chip blocks, those chips and outs. You know what I'm saying? Where you kind of just chip a linebacker because they blitz their linebackers. Not a ton. They didn't do it a ton against Rodgers, but I think they might against Josh because it's going to be more about trying to keep Josh in the pocket and get him down as opposed to trying to rush for or trying to blitz off the edge and giving Josh an opportunity to break out. Right? I think a lot of the blitzes you're going to see are going to be up the gut. But anyway, all that's to say, I think Dawson Knox's blocking and his ability to go out and catch a pass or two is going to be a big part of kind of keeping those linebackers honest and keeping them off of Josh.
Okay, so he's your X factor in offense. Okay, so I'm gonna go, like I said, I'm gonna go Palmer this game for me. He's my X factor on offense. By the way, this Miles coming in. I do not attend college parties anymore. Stop that.
You sure?
Listen, I can't we'll just move on here. Let's see here on defense.
There's no right answer there.
Listen, man. Winning. No, just Dorian Strong. X Factor. You agree? If he plays, we'll see.
I don't think he's going to play, but I mean, if he is asked to play, I think he is going to be an X Factor. Yeah.
I'm with you there. TJ Sanders, I'm for sure. Yeah. Yes. And he's my X Factor, by the way, on defense. So I'll tell you right now, that's the guy I chose. And then Deion Walker. What do you think?
I don't think we're going to see much from him today.
I think he'll be in there, but I don't. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think he'll have a lot of snap count. Who's your X Factor on defense?
Man, this is honestly, I think it is going to come down to. I think it's going to come down to the safeties, both of them. To be perfectly honest, that run game, they're going to get to the second level. With the inside zone that they play, they gang up on the defensive tackles a lot. So it's going to be very tough for Rousseau and Bosa to kind of crash down on those zone runs because there's the way they set those up is, a lot of times, I can only go based on last week, but what they do a lot of is they'll stack those tight ends on one side or the other. Sometimes they'll motion into that two tight end on one side look. And sometimes they just start off with it, but either way, they usually in that game last week ran to the opposite side of wherever TJ Watt was, right? I think somebody said they ran to the left like every single time, right? And which is, I'm sorry, no. It was 38 of 39 times they ran to the left. The one time they ran at TJ Watt, he blew the play up. Like I went back and watched the all 22 like last night, so this is all fresh. But the idea that we're going to be able to stop the run without the safeties having a great game, it's going to be tough. The vision that Breece Hall has, his ability to make cuts in that zone run scheme, even the backup running back Isaiah Davis is showing improvement in his ability to key his reads the right read his keys the right way and make the right cuts and stuff like that. So the safeties are going to have to be able to get down quickly and get into those gaps and plug them up. And if they don't, we're going to see a lot of what we saw from Derrick Henry in week 1.
So listen, I think it's a copycat League One. Okay. They're obviously teams look at film to see, what your weaknesses are. And that's how it works. But the Jets are kind of built like the Ravens as far as their game plan goes.
Yep.
They're not obviously, Fields is not Lamar, and obviously Hall is not Derrick Henry. They're two different types of running back, but they still do a very good job. Like Breece Hall is a very good running back, and Fields is very good when getting out of the pocket using his legs, right? But my thing is this: if the Bills could somewhat contain that run game early on and force Fields to have to be to throw, right? To force them to be more passing offense, then I think that, you know, the Bills will have no problem in this game. I see there's a Jets fan in here, but, you know, listen, they're going to get theirs because our run defense still is not right. And I think what you're doing over there with Fields is perfect. Like I honestly, that's a great way to build an offense around Fields, what he's good at. You know, I don't know if it's going to be long term, if that will work long term for Fields. I still don't think he's the answer. But I could see him, like I said, like Cordell Stewart with Pittsburgh years ago, you know, use him that kind of capacity, limit his passing, give him more as a running attack. So basically run to set up the pass, right?
Yeah.
Which will work, right? If you get that run game going early. But, you know, of course, the fear is for your team is if a defense stops the run early and then you got to go to the pass. Right. Fields, that's where he tends to struggle.
I think the problem with Fields, though, is more it's always been mental because he's always been a very athletic quarterback. And the problem there is you see quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson and you see quarterbacks like Josh Allen go from being these very athletic guys in college to becoming passers in the NFL. Yeah. And watching Fields on tape, he's still throwing the ball. He's not passing the ball yet, right? His throwing motion, the way that he's finding his open receivers, his reaction time is often a second or two late. As compared to the receiver breaks, you know, when they break off of their route and they're set for the ball, it's usually late. But again, I think if Aaron Glenn is willing to invest the time, energy, and money into getting this guy the training that he needs, a lot like what Josh Allen got from year 1 to 2 and then from 2 to 3, if he can kind of have the support to go through that kind of training and progression and all that kind of stuff, I think he could be one of those guys. It's just a matter of whether or not the coaching staff feels they have enough time to go through all that.
Well, that and him. Right. It also takes the player to want to push himself, right, to get better. Because not we've seen it throughout the history of every sport where a player has all the tools, right, to be successful, to be great, and they just don't know how to put it all together, right? They don't have the mindset to want to get better, right? Some players just think, hey, I got a big arm, I can run, I can do all this. I'll just let my, I'll let all that speak for itself, and that doesn't always work. Yeah, you got to work on your craft, man. No one's perfect, right? So unless you're Michael Jordan, I guess he just came.
Nah, he's still working harder than everybody else.
Oh, man. I know. I'm just joking. Kobe Bryant too, by the way. Kobe never gave it. No, Kobe continued to work out in the offseason and get better at his craft. Like that's something Josh did and Josh continues to do, and that's why he's special. But you're right. We'll see what Fields. I think they're giving that 2-year contract smart. What they did. With him, that's a good time frame to kind of know what you want to do. I still think the Jets still probably get a quarterback in the meantime. It won't hurt. Worst case, you still got Fields for another year, and if Fields is not, still getting it, then you know what? See if Fields want to be a backup, and you run him out there and do that kind of a 2 quarterback set where, which I thought they should have done in Pittsburgh with him. Where you get him out there on some run plays, because he still could throw it, show some different looks on offense with a quarterback like that. You can. That's what they tried to do with Tebow years ago, and it would have worked. I think Tebow would have worked in today's NFL right now. To be honest with you, I just think when he was around back then, and also with Tebow, he never was willing to adjust. Right, like he was stuck. You know what I mean? Like his throwing motion was his throwing motion. If he worked on it, who knows? Tebow was good.
I don't
in college. He was a good player, but he just never his mechanics. I think he was just so stuck on his mechanics, this throwing motion. He had that awkward throwing motion, and to release, robotic, and it took a while to release the ball. Yep. He just never could get. He never fixed it. So, but we'll see when it comes to Fields. But anyways, what's your hot takes of the game? And we'll get out of here in a minute.
Oh, hot takes to the game. Look, don't believe the hype about the Jets right tackle. People were talking all week long, and I'm sorry, Jets fan, Jets Fuel.
Jets Fuel. He's hyping his team up.
Yeah,
they're gonna run on us all day.
I will get where credit is due to any opponent. But again, after watching the all 22, I'm on PFF.com right now. He is the highest rated tackle in the league right now with 78.6 pass blocking rating and a 90.3 run blocking rating over guys like Ronnie Staley and Jordan Mailata.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't stand those, by the way. We talked about that Friday. Grades,
all of this.
rankings.
Yeah.
It's all bullshit. Go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead.
And here's where, like on my show, I talk about the convergence of information and convergence of different, like not just the stats. It's got to be, you got to watch the tape. You got to understand the play that was called. You got to understand the responsibility. It's a convergence of information. Well, here it comes, right? The convergence of information on Armand Membu says that he only had one play the entire game in which he went against TJ Watt one-on-one. And in that rep that he got against TJ Watt one-on-one, he got blown back into the quarterback, and the quarterback just happened to get the ball off fast enough so that it didn't matter. But every other time they motioned a tight end from out wide, or they had a tight end lined up wide of the right tackle to chip at TJ Watt and oftentimes block him for most of the play. So
Right.
Membu really did not get a ton of work against an elite pass rusher. Obviously, that's what you expect the team to do with the young offensive line. I mean, she said she didn't make it through all 22. I mean, it's look, from a person who likes to study the game like that. I'm sorry to say this, but a lot of what they're doing is smoke and mirrors. It's a great run game and a lot of smoke and mirrors that they're building off of the run game. They're protecting the quarterback. They're also trying to protect their right tackle. That's a lot to ask of an offensive coordinator in year one of a system throughout a 17-game stretch. They will have some good games. They will have some development, but this is not a team after watching the all 22 that I expect to really give us very many problems.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm sorry, Jets, but listen, I always tell fans, be optimistic. There's nothing wrong with being on, and I don't like, you're not going to get it here. Not for me. I don't talk trash. Like, I just don't do it. I don't like fans that do it. Like, I'm not. Listen, I give my prediction. I stick with whatever I say, and I could be wrong, but there's nothing wrong with being optimistic. But eventually, though, you got to come to the conclusion of what your team is. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's early right now. It's week 2, right? But we know. I could say when I talk about my team, I'm pretty confident because we're about what we've done, because we've done a lot as far as winning the East, and I'm not talking about Super Bowl because that's a totally different story, but I'm talking about it being a good team, winning the East, a regular season team. Like, I'm pretty confident, and I have the right to be, right? I'm not trying to pump my chest out on my team, but you guys, the Jets, the Patriots, are in rebuild mode, and that's okay. You want to see promise from your team.
100%.
You want to see something as a fan that goes, hey, I like the direction we're going. The only team that I feel is in the opposite way are the Dolphins. They're a fucking mess. Yeah. Their coach is a mess. Their GM's a mess. Their team's a mess. They don't have no respect for their coach, which they shouldn't because he's an idiot. And it's got players. Listen. If you're a Dolphin fan, you want to lose at this point. I know it's terrible, right? You never want your team to lose, but in a way, it's a good thing. You want your team to lose. You want those guys gone. You want to blow the thing up, and you want to start fresh.
Yep.
That's how rebuilds are done. The Jets had to do it. It is what it is. And the Patriots had to do it. It is what it is, right? Yeah. But I see both teams, the Jets and Patriots, looking good, like as far as where they're heading. So I have no problem with the Jets. I just think we're a better team right now. And, that's not trash talking. It's just the reality of it. We have the better quarterback by far. We're a sound team. I'm not crazy about my coach, but he is a veteran coach. He's probably better right now than your coach, as far as just because he's been here a little bit longer. As far as a head coach, I'm not thrilled about him. Maybe. I get what you're saying, Aramis. Trust me. I don't know if Josh is on the team, what we are record wise, probably not great, but I'm just talking about just experience wise as a head coach. I do go with that. I will lean right now with Sean on the experience level. Being there, being in big game, you know what I mean? So I have to give that over. I think James Cook right now is a little bit better than Breece Hall. You know what I mean? I think we have some veteran defense. I think you know what I mean? Like they're all right now, when you're on a rebuild mode, you got a lot of guys getting familiar with the system, familiar with the defense, familiar with your new coaches. You know what I mean? So all of that, though, I'm not saying that their coach can't eventually be better than McDermott. He can, but right now it's too early to tell. So I don't want to be like, hey, that coach, he has a great, like, same with Ben Johnson. He had a lot of hype, right? But it's going to take a little time to really know, is he going to be a good head coach? He's a great offensive coordinator, right? And I felt like their coach, the Jets coach, Glenn, really good defense coordinator. But when you change your position, you become a head coach, is totally different, right? We've seen that before. And sometimes coordinators are meant to be coordinators, and coaches are, meant to be head coaches, right? So we'll see when it comes down to it. But I just feel like we're still the team to beat in the East, and that's not pumping my chest. It's just the reality of it. And I feel like we win this game. Score predictions. Go ahead.
I'm going to go 34-17. 34-17 seems like it wouldn't take much for the Bills to do that throughout the course of a game. Again, if they do it through the passing game, I think this could definitely be a situation where the Bills are up by a lot very early and then just kind of take their foot off the brake in the second half. And, the Jets find their way to, 10, maybe 14 points or something like that. The only thing that I kind of see getting in the way of that is if the Bills just cannot stop the run. If they can't, this is going to be a much longer game and a much closer game.
I'm with you. It could be a drag out game. So I got it 37-23. Okay. There's no reason why we can't put, in the 30s. Yeah. I don't even mind your score prediction 34. I'll give them 23. They probably got maybe a garbage touchdown at the end there. But yeah, I'm totally with you. It could be a lot closer if the Bills, or if this game's close at halftime, let's say. Yep. Or for some reason the Jets are leading at halftime. But I think if the Bills could come out, get some early stops, get that run, slow down that running attack early on, build a little bit of a lead, they'll be just fine. And I think that, the Jets having to play comeback won't be good for them because then they're going to be having to go one-dimensional, which is passing. And I just don't see it yet with Fields and that offense. I don't. I like Garrett Wilson, but you kind of saw when they needed last week to go pass heavy. You saw kind of what happened there at the end. Yeah. So and that one guy got walloped. And honestly, too, the defense is really, for a defense that I felt was really getting borderline elite a couple of years ago, is really, I don't know what you are anymore. I don't. You guys are giving up a ton of points at Pittsburgh when you had a lead, 17 in the fourth quarter. To me, it's unacceptable. Yeah. So I don't know about your defense being that, scary, top notch. The only thing I'll say though is the Jets usually do give us some kind of fight. So we'll see when it comes down to that. All right, here we go. We're gonna play Real Men of Genius, and we're gonna be watching that game. I'll be here at halftime, guys. About 10 minutes, right? Halftime show and right back to the game. So, but I will do a halftime. All right, here we go. Real Men of Genius, and then we're out of here.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real Men of Genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. All-You-Can-Eat Buffet Inventor.
Mr. All-You-Can-Eat Buffet Inventor.
You've given us the real American dream. A tray, 15 feet of food, and a little sign that says, "Go nuts, buddy."
Pinch me, I'm dreaming.
Pushing side dish innovation to its limits, you offer creamed everything and 400 flavors of gelatin.
Feed it frenzy.
If there's beef, you'll chip it. If there's chicken, you'll fry it. And if there's gravy, well, then everything's going to be okay.
Thank God for the gravy.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, buffet boy. You know the way to a man's heart and a few hundred tasty ways to challenge it.
Mr. All-You-Can-Eat Buffet Inventor.
Buffet boy. Hey, I'm a buffet. I'm a buffet boy. I love me some buffets. All right, guys. I'll be here at halftime. Bills Mafia, you guys rule. Go Bills. Peace. Oh, Aramis. I didn't
Go
hear it.
Bills. Go Bills. Go
There
Bills.
you go. There you go.
All right.
Later, guys. Go
Yeah,
Bills.
later.